Councilmember Berkeley Allen, Chair of the committee. I would like to defer Bill 207-853 until the first meeting in October. That could be interpreted anyway.
Yes. Okay. So we'll let him suspend the rules tomorrow.
Okay, but since it's not properly on the agenda.
He's not here to take it off.
Here he is.
He's in time. So my understanding is what he wants is he wants to pass it this year and his contract. And but not here before the end is 3 weeks of 1st October.
That sounds right.
Which makes sense because that's how we usually do it. It's just the weird.
Okay, are we ready? Okay. I'd like to call the Planning and Zoning Committee to order, please. Lots of letters. Yes. Okay. All right, we will begin with RS 2017-864, sponsors Glover, Virtue, and others. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. This authorizes the Director of Public Works to exercise an option agreement for the purchase of 2 flood-prone properties for Metro Water Services. Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? I have 10. How many do you have? Okay. Bill's resolution is recommended. Next is RS 2017-865, sponsors Pardue, Virtue, and others. This approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad crossing safety improvements at Baker Station Road. I have a letter to approve, although it was deferred in budget. What does that do to us?
You can approve or defer.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and take them up then. So I have a letter to approve. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes, Councilmember Glover.
Yes, Chair, what I was wondering about, since I think we asked in Budget and Finance to defer one meeting, and Mr. Jameson, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 865 through 870. If we did that, because we did move to defer one meeting, are we wise to go ahead and do the same thing in Planning and Zoning since it will be deferred tomorrow night by rule?
It'll automatically be deferred, so whether or not this committee wants to get its work out from under it or wait until later, it's the committee's decision.
So my understanding is there's some new information coming that we will have. So I would.
So then, Madam Chair, if it's okay with you, I'm going to move that we defer, and I know you need to read the captions on each one, but I'm going to move to defer one meeting, 865 through 870, on the resolutions for one meeting.
Okay.
Is there an objection to taking them together?
Is there an objection to taking those together? Hearing none, we will, I'll read the captions for all of those and we'll vote on a one meeting deferral when I'm done reading any captions. So we've already read RS 2017-865, RS 2017-866, sponsors O'Connell, Virtue, and others, approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Department of Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad safety crossing improvements at 14th Avenue North. RS 2017-867, sponsors Mina Johnson, Virtue, and others, approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad safety crossing improvements at Post Road. RS 2017-868, sponsors Sledge, Virtue, and others, approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad safety crossing improvements at Sadler Avenue. RS 2017-869, sponsors Van Reese, Virtue, and others, approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad safety improvements at Nesbitt Lane. RS 2017-870, sponsors Freeman, Virtue, and others, approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad safety crossing improvements at Old Glen Rose Avenue. There has been a motion to defer all of these one meeting. Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? These resolutions are all deferred. Wait, give me a minute to write that down. Great. Now we'll take up RS 2017-871, sponsors Vircher, Roten, and Allen. This approves a grant from the Tennessee Historical Commission to the Metro Historical Commission to provide a Fort Negley Park cultural landscape plan. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution is recommended. Next is Resolution 2017-874. This authorizes NP Fifth LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 410 Fifth Avenue South. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve, and I have the sponsor. Is there a motion? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? I'm up to 11 now, right?
Hagar, okay.
Now we're on bills on second reading. We'll begin with BL 2017-853, sponsors Kendall and Allen. This changes 4.75 acres from R6 to SP zoning for various properties located along 33rd Avenue North, 35th Avenue North, Trevor Street, and Delaware Avenue south of Interstate 40 to permit a maximum of 123 multifamily units. I have a letter requesting a deferral to October 3rd. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Do you want to ask Councilman Kendall his specific intent?
We can check. Just to clarify, Councilmember Kendall, in terms of what you plan to do on the council floor tomorrow, just so we can be consistent with that.
Well, actually, I want to approve on second and defer to the third meeting back to the P&Z.
To the Planning and Zoning Commission or just to the committee?
No, committee.
Back to the committee.
And well, we will have an amendment at that third reading.
Okay. So we will defer any action until October 3rd.
Right.
And we may be on third reading at that point.
Correct.
But that's consistent to do this. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Glover.
I just want to get clarification. I think, and if, rather than me looking at the sponsor, I mean, I think what he's asking us to approve tomorrow night, so I guess it would come to the full body to approve on second, and to re-refer, of which, because it is a zoning bill, he could then amend on third. Am I right, Mr. Jameson?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So all we're doing tonight is just deferring well, this afternoon, all we're doing is just deferring with the committee for one, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then we'll have the amendment when we consider it.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
Any other questions on that? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Of a one-meeting deferral?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is deferred one meeting. Next is BL 2017-870, sponsors Vircher and Allen. This declares surplus and authorizes the conveyance of property located at 3410 Knight Drive, commonly known as Ewing Park School. I'm a sponsor in Budget and Finance. We agreed to defer one meeting. I would entertain a motion to defer. Okay. And that was to allow time to work out an agreement about Metro having the option to buy this property back. Councilmember Glover, do you want to speak on that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think there were a number of questions on, would it come back to Metro? Is it a fair price? I think in Budget and Finance, we raised a number of issues, so I think it's appropriate to defer, and then it comes back to us at the next council meeting and this committee in order to have full discussion with it.
With the new
Thank you.
information. Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of one meeting deferral?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is deferred one meeting. Next is BL 2017-871, sponsors Glover, Vircher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights by negotiation, donations, or condemnation for the purposes of the Central Pike improvements, and upon acquisition, the conveyances of said easements to the state. And I have a letter to approve. Is there any discussion? Been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-872, sponsors Glover, Vircher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for the purpose of the Andrew Jackson Parkway sidewalk improvements. I have a letter to approve, but again, these were also deferred one meeting in planning to, no, there was a long discussion about, okay. Sorry, I'll take my statement back about deferring. We had asked questions about the information on sidewalk improvements and where that funding, what that funding amount is, and that we can come up with the method to find out what that amount is later. So that will be discussed further, but you move to approve. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no other discussion. All those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-873, sponsors Hager, Vercher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Andrew Jackson Parkway sidewalk improvements. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-874, sponsors Roberts, Vercher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Annex Avenue sidewalk improvements. I have a letter to approve and a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-875, sponsors Hastings, Vercher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drain easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the John Mallett Drive sidewalk improvements. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-876, sponsors Dowell, Vercher, and others. This authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Mountain View Road sidewalk improvements. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-877, sponsors O'Connell, Elrod, and Allen. This authorizes Nashville Music Row Hotel Owner LLC to install, construct, and maintain underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 1 Music Square West. And I have a motion from the sponsor as well as the sponsor. Is there a second? Been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-878, sponsors O'Connell, Elrod, and Allen. This authorizes Metro to accept a new sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole, fire hydrant, and easements for property located at 700 4th Avenue North. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Is there a second? Good. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-879, sponsors Withers, Elrod, and Allen, authorizes Metro to accept new combined sewer and water lines, sewer manholes, fire hydrant, and any associated easements for property located at 809 Main Street. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I would like to ask a question, if I may, from Public Works. My understanding is that the new sewer line will also be combined. And if I could just get someone, Mr. Dominguez, to answer why we are not putting in new sewer lines that are separated, in the hopes that someday maybe that part of town might be separated. Can you address that, please? That makes sense. I would, I guess, maybe have a question for the larger water department. If we ever are going to separate any of it, we sure have to start with the little stuff. But I'll take that up with the department head. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill's recommended. Next is BL 2017-880, sponsor Scott Davis, Elrod, and Allen. This abandons a portion of Richardson Avenue right-of-way. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Any discussion? Thank you. Motion's been moved and seconded. Again, I have just a general question. I'm not sure if this is finance or public works. When Metro acquires right-of-way, we have to pay money for it. When we abandon right-of-way, do we ever get money for it? Mr. Sturdivant?
Property goes back to the adjacent property owners.
Gotcha. And then if we needed to buy it back later, we would pay them for that. Is that right?
Presumably,
Have we had
yes.
discussions about, I mean, or maybe that, are there best practices in other cities where?
These are mostly small little remnants that are kind of leftovers. It's hard to imagine there could be any use or utility for them.
Right.
These are really cleanup things.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the answer. All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-881, sponsors Kendall, Elrod, and Allen. Abandons a portion of alley number 925 right-of-way and easement. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Is there any discussion? It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-882, sponsors O'Connell, Elrod, and Allen. This abandons a portion of Lee Avenue and alley number 114 right-of-way. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. And there's a second. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next are bills on third reading. BL 2017-700, sponsor Scott Davis. Changes 0.49 acres from R6 to SP zoning for property located at 1021 Elvira Avenue to permit up to 6 residential units. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-703, sponsor Scott Davis, changes 0.82 acres from CS and OR 20 to RM20A zoning for properties located at 107 and 109 Queen Avenue. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-759, sponsor is Hastings, changes 0.47 acres from R8 to IWD zoning for property located at 2923 Brick Church Pike. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-796. Sponsors Kendall and Allen, changes 0.1 acres from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 2401 Alameda Street. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Been moved, it's moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-821, sponsor Scott Davis, changes 0.21 acres from MULA to SP zoning for property located at 2525 Gallatin Avenue to permit up to 9 multifamily units and up to 2,000 square feet of commercial space. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-843, sponsor is Scott Davis, changes 1.93 acres from IWD to RM20A zoning for properties located at 818, 822, 824, and 826 Cherokee Avenue. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-844, sponsors Kendall and Allen, changes 0.40 acres from R6 to RM20A zoning for property located at 517 D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve and a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-845, sponsor is Leonardo, applies 112.8 acres of urban design overlay district for properties located along Clarksville Pike, north of intersection of West Hamilton Avenue and Clarksville Pike. Councilman Leonardo, there you are. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Councilman Leonardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair Lady. I do have a substitute that I'd like to move at this time that just has 2 minor changes. One's required and one is reflective of one of the only comments we got during our UDO meetings. So I would move the substitute at this
Excellent.
time.
Okay, any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? The bill as substituted? All right, thank you. Any discussion on the bill as substituted? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? All those, okay, bill is approved as substituted. Next is BL 2017-846, sponsors Mendez, changes 1.46 acres from AR2A to RS40 zoning for property located at 5994 Mountain View Road. Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-847, sponsor is Hastings, changes 0.42 acres from R10 to SP zoning for property located at 3219 Alpine Avenue to permit 2 family residential uses with a maximum of 4 units. Been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-848, sponsor is Bedney, amends 56.84 acres of a specific plan for property located at Pettis Road, unnumbered, east of Lacebark Drive, to permit the use of brick, stone, cement board, cultured stone, and/or wood on 100% of the front facade and side facade of the buildings. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-849. Sponsor is Scott Davis. Disapproved is submitted. Approved with substitute by the Planning Committee. Changes 0.22 acres from RS5 to R6 zoning for property located at 900 Oneida Avenue. We have that substitute already?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We need to vote on it. It's already happened.
No, we need to.
We need to move the substitute. Okay. And can the planning table tell us about that substitute?
The substitute was just to change the zoning from R6 to R6A.
Okay. All right. All right, we are moving the substitute. All in favor? Councilmember Glover, you wish to speak on this one? Okay. Any opposed? Substitute. All right, and we're voting on the bill as substituted. All those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended as substituted. Next is BL 2017-851. Sponsor is Dowell. Amends 74 acres of specific plan for properties located at Cane Ridge Road, unnumbered between Cane Ridge Road and I-24, to amend signage standards. Is Councilmember Dowell still here? Did she wander out? We will move her to the Hill and take up BL 2017-855. Sponsor is Sledge. Amends 0.95 acres of a specific plan district for properties located at 1267 and 1271 3rd Avenue South to permit a mixed-use development. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-856. Sponsor is Leonardo. Cancels 29.24 acres of a planned unit development overlay district for property located at 698 Putnam Drive. Do you have a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-858. Sponsor is Blaylock. Changes 5.8 acres from R6 and RM9 to RM15 zoning for properties located at Whitson Street, unnumbered, and 400 Adamwood Drive, southeast of Adamwood Drive. I have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Been moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Any against? Bill is recommended. Next is BL 2017-859. Sponsors O'Connell. Amends the Metro Code pertaining to telecommunications facilities. Do I have a motion? Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Mina Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this one has a PWSF, DAS, COW, a very interesting alphabetic soup. So I was wondering if a bill sponsor or somebody can educate us on what they are and what's the difference with telecommunication.
Good question. And we can also talk about the substitute as well. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to reference the substitute, but I will invite our friends at the planning table to unpack the alphabet soup.
Okay. Should we move the substitute first?
We can. I'm happy to do that.
I think we're supposed to.
I will move the substitute.
Thank you. And any discussion on the substitute? All right. All those in favor of the substitute? Aye. Any opposed? Now we are voting on the bill as substituted after talking about the alphabet soup. If planning is ready.
A number of these are already defined in the zoning code, and there are various kinds of telecommunications facilities. I believe COW is cellular on wheels. Those are the kinds of facilities that you see that kind of get wheeled in for events on trucks and things like that. DAS is a distributed antenna system, I believe, and then PWSF, I'm going to go with personal wireless, but a service facility maybe, but it's all of those are different kinds of telecommunications. So it's just simply defining everything that's under the umbrella of telecommunications facilities. And
sure thing. Any other questions?
They're close, if not correct.
They sounded very plausible. So any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Thank you. And we are back to Councilmember Dowell. Thank you for the quick turnaround. BL 2017-851, sponsors is Dowell amends 74 acres of a specific plan for properties located at Cane Ridge Road, unnumbered between Cane Ridge Road and I-24 to amend signage standards. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Yes, bill's recommended. I believe that's all that's on our agenda. With that, I will say thank you for letting me serve. I am passing the gavel on to someone else to be elected in the next meeting or two, so it's been great. Thank you. We're adjourned.